Okay, so the summer of 7th grade, my family moved from the Midwest to Scotland so my dad could do his PhD at the University of Edinburgh. It was a grand adventure for my whole family. I left my small private school where everyone knew everyone and jumped right into the middle of a public high school right in the middle of Edinburgh. I planned my outfit for that day so carefully. The first day of school, I wore a mock turtleneck with the little heart zipper and denim overalls. It was the coolest thing I owned. However, I soon learned that only the wee lads and lassies wear clothes like that. And also, they call overalls dungarees. I didn't expect to feel so much like a foreigner in a country that spoke English, but I would hear, "Is your dad Homer Simpson?" And apparently, it was hilarious when I called it a trash can. Um, I would repeat to myself in my head over and over, "Don't say pants, don't say pants, don't say pants," because pants are underwear. I had a new school, new country, new words, and finally, new love. My first crush. His name was David. Picture Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, except for tan with dark hair and hazel eyes. And that was David. I sat next to him in every class I could. He would tell me jokes and I would laugh, and sometimes I would even get the jokes. He passed me a note one day, and in that note it said, "Will you go out with me?" This was new, but of course I said yes. So we were going out, and going out basically meant nothing except that I knew he liked me and he knew I liked him, and everybody knew that we liked each other. We never saw each other outside of school, but one day I got to go to his neighborhood to hang out. And so I showed up and I was so excited because today was the day. We were going to kiss. I was talking about it. He was talking about it. Everyone was talking about it. We get to the park and we play some soccer, climb trees. I was running free. It was raining, but it rained every day in Scotland. So that wasn't a bad omen. It just felt delicious. I was so excited and so ready for what the night would bring. I locked eyes with David across the field. It was time. This kiss was happening. His friend walked toward me across the field. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, my own personal Cupid here to make this moment happen." And he got closer and then he said, "David's breaking up with you." I was bewildered. I didn't know what to do. So I just smiled and nodded and waited for understanding. But actually, in Scotland, they don't call it breaking up. They call it he finished with you. It felt so personal. And in that moment, I knew I couldn't be that wild and free and energetic girl running through the field anymore. What was the opposite of wild and free? That's what I'm going to be. And so I spent the rest of high school under the radar. We moved back to the United States and I tried to not be seen. I was pleasant and I was kind, but I was invisible. I couldn't bear the thought of someone seeing me fail. And since I couldn't control the outcome of new things, I didn't try them. You want to go for a bike ride? No. Take an art class? No. Karaoke? Definitely not. But eventually, I took the plunge and got married when I was 21. A few years later, by the age of 27, I was a military spouse and mom of four. On a whim, I took my kids to a climbing gym because I thought it would be good for them. I was just there to observe. I would not be climbing. But watching them climb, I thought maybe I should give this a try. So I decided to try, and suddenly I had fallen in love again, but this time it was with climbing. The small gym on Fort Knox never had anyone in it, and so I could climb and climb and fall with no witnesses, which felt like a gift. I would tape my hands when they blistered, and when they would bleed, I would tape them some more and just keep climbing. Um, I loved it so much. A few months later, my kids came back to the climbing gym with me, and I had been working on this one boulder problem for weeks, and I couldn't get this one move where you jumped from one hold to another. And so I kept trying, and I would jump and grab and smack, hit the mat over and over and over again. Um, it was the most ridiculous moment that I think I'd ever experienced. And after the day of climbing, and I found that my son had videoed the whole thing. And I actually found it pretty funny. Um, I looked like a cartoon, but it was okay. Falling didn't feel like failing this time. A lot of us were raised with that sort of Yoda mindset, do or do not. There is no try. But that puts the weight of anything on the product. In climbing, it's all about try hard, which basically means that you try hard and let the results take care of themselves. I never ever completed that climbing move that I tried. But hitting that mat so many times over and over again must have broken something open in me because now I have so many hobbies. My house looks like a craft store. I rarely finish what I start, and I'm okay with that because it's all about the process for me, not the product. When I feel lost, I think about excuse me, I think about that wild and free 12-year-old girl running through the fields, and I think about all of the things she did for the love of them. I think about the wind blowing through her hair as she ran laughing. Falling isn't failing. I know it. You know it. Everyone knows it.